Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And I am your host, Larry Cox, and it's great to have you guys with the show tonight. So, we're going to first of all say hello to some folks that have joined us in the chat tonight. And let me scroll through here and see who that is this evening. Ethel Bland, great to have you. William Campbell, great to have you tonight. Judy Bond, great to have you here tonight. Mary Boysworth, great for you to be here. Marie Withers, great for you to be on the show tonight. Great to have all the folks joining me tonight on This Week from Rockdale. Great to have you here. I was excited to do the show tonight. We're going to do a little bit of a recap tonight, as we did a show this past Wednesday. It was a midweek report. It was a special report. We last Sunday had technical difficulty, so I'd said I was already going to do a midweek makeup, and then we was able to get some information about a lawsuit that had been happened here in Rockdale County that had been levied against the chairman, and we thought, well, you know what? Why not bring this breaking news to the citizens of Rockdale County? Because if we didn't bring it, you probably wouldn't hear about it. So that's what we decided to do. I have some people joined us. Jill Oden joined us. Angela Asperino joined us. And Corliss Turner. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to This Week from Rockdale. We felt that it was very important that the citizens of Rockdale County know what's going on because we're coming up on election time. And the chairman is one of the folks that you guys are uh, going to be possibly voting for or against, or someone else for the position of chair. So we thought, I thought, why not, let the people know what's going on in the county with the chairman. So Charlotte Geller, Joey Williams, thanks for joining us tonight. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and bring this out here. I said, but not just bringing it out here. Let's provide a little bit of documentation to actually show the citizens of Rockdale County that this is something that's real, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously. So, Cheryl Garcia, welcome to the show. And we talked about how this was a pattern for the chairman. We're going to talk about that tonight also. Um, citizens of Rockdale County need to know. They need to know the past. They need to know the history, and they need to know the present. They need to know that not a lot has changed over the last 20 years or so. And that's what the folks of Rockdale County need to see. They need to realize. So that's what the hope of bringing this story to you, the citizens. Hopefully, that's what that'll do tonight. That'll bring you some reality of what we face here in Rockdale County. And hopefully, that we can inform everybody of what's going on, and we can, hopefully people will know, that this goes on, and make a better decision about who we're voting for, and how these folks, they impact your life. Uh, these folks impact your life with what they're doing, and it's just, guys, it's not right. And I'm hoping that by sharing this, that more people become aware of what's going on, and changes are made, and that people, they're enlightened, and they wake up and they realize they don't have to vote for the same people over and over and over again. That it's okay to vote for different, and they tell you, if those other people don't work out, guess what? In 4 years on the local level, we get to vote for them again. We get to decide, no, that experiment didn't work. Let's replace them with somebody else. And that's what we need to do. I mean, the experiment with Oz Nesbitt didn't work. And we are not stuck with him. These politicians somehow think that we're stuck with them, that we're stuck with their bad policies and we're stuck with their bad decisions. We're not stuck with that stuff, guys. We have the power to vote them out of office. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. And then what I'm going to do is bring up some documents right now, and I'm going to show you that there was a lawsuit. So let's do that. Let's show you that there was a lawsuit. So I got this up here. Now let me take the chat overlay away. Let me expand that. So we can see here I've got the plaintiff blacked out for, the plaintiff did not want their name thrown out there any more than it has to, although this is public record. Just so anybody knows, I mean, this is out there in the public domain, and there are copies of this out there without redaction, and people know who people are. So, this shows you that there was a plaintiff, there was a lawsuit that Oz Nesbitt individually and officially as the commissioner of Rockdale County, that Doug Chandler individually and as official in the capacity of code enforcement, that, they were named in this suit. And then, it was said this week, I think some officials were asked about it, and they said, well, it wasn't that bad. I mean, probably wasn't appropriate, but don't think it was that bad. Well, if we can look right here, there was a payment made in the sum of $85,000. So it was $85,000 worth of bad, people. $85,000 of your taxpayers bad, because that's who paid this money. You and I, the taxpayers of Rockdale County, we're the ones that paid this $85,000. Then we see the charge of discrimination. We see that this individual started working for the county in September of 2017, and throughout their employment, they performed their duties in an exemplary manner. On February 11th, 2020, the chairman of Rockdale County sent a sexually offensive video to the cell phone of the plaintiff, and the video contained offensive dancing and nudity of a female. On February 12th, the complainant and Director complained to Director Casey and the Deputy Director, Teresa Jacobs, and nothing happened about it. And actually, Casey told me that do what I want to do with it. On February the 12th, she complained to her direct supervisor, and he said, Mr. Chandler told me he did not want to hear about it. On February the 20th, she was called into the chairman's office, told, if you can read her, that she was doing a good job, that her job was not in threat, it was secure. On February the 18th, she was written up, and then was told that the meeting that she had back on the 15th was a verbal warning. On the November 26th, she complained to someone in personnel, and as of this date, nothing had been done in this matter. So, guys, we've got this incident that occurred here in Rockdale County, right? So, but then let's just talk about, that's not the only thing that's occurred in Rockdale County. So we had George Diaz, the former communications director, had an encounter with the chairman, and he audio recorded this, played it to Post 1 and Post 2 commissioners. We saw a commission meeting where these three individuals had a knockdown, drag out fight over the way that Post 1 and Post 2 described it as, inappropriate way to discuss issues with an employee. And Mr. Diaz was paid off by the county. He was given a severance and a payoff by the county. We had former Chief of Staff Corey Hamrick, who was not permitted the last 6 months that he was employed by the county not to engage or interact with the chairman. He wasn't allowed in the same building as the chairman per the direction of the chairman. But we continued to pay his salary as a severance for the last, for 6 more months, even though he could not act in official capacity for the chairman. Then we had the incident where, Rosalind Miller, the former CFO, was let go. That was a couple $100,000 settlement. We had another administrator that had worked for the previous chairman, and when she was transitioning, some things happened. She won a couple $100,000 lawsuit. And from what my understanding, there are other lawsuits that are out there. And then not only that, and what I'm about to say is documented, guys. You go back to when the chairman in the early 2000s was a police officer in Augusta and had an incident with some teenage females where he followed them, pursued them, and apprehended them, had them in the cruiser, did some inappropriate things, and lost his post certification, lost his job. And there's open records where he actually, when he appealed the decision, I mean, it's very detailed in that appeal why they would not reinstate his post certification, and it's horrible. And I recommend people do open records requests from the city of Augusta, and if someone wants them, may be able to get those records to you. You can text me, email me something. I can actually get you those open records that anybody can get that details, that what went on in that incident. And far as that goes, there are a bunch of tax liens. There are liens. The chairman failed to pay bills, debts. There were tax liens when he took office as a post one commissioner. Not allowed to hold office in the state of Georgia if you have tax liens. But he did. He held office, had tax liens. Right now, there's a lien against the chairman. He opened a cigar smoking place. Failed to pay the contractor, $16,000 lien against him for that. This is a pattern. It's a pattern of behavior. Now, this pattern is continuing to go down right now. Your money, guys, this board is wasteful with your money. Very wasteful with your money. And it's time for you to send a message this election. Say no to Oz Nesbitt and say no to Sherry Washington. Remove these two individuals from office. Let's put some other people in office. Enough is enough, guys. We do not have to stand by idly and take this kind of behavior or this kind of treatment toward us, the citizens of Rockdale County. So I encourage each and every one of you to get out and vote this May. Vote these folks out of office. And while you're voting those folks out of office, it's time for me to do a shameless plug. Vote for me. Elect me to your new member of the Rockdale County Board of Education. As a new member of the Board of Education, I will take my position. I will fight for you. I will fight for the citizens. I will fight for the students. But let me tell you, a healthy community and a happy citizen makes a good education process on its way. So if we have a tax base that makes the citizens happy, if we have an educational program that are making the citizens happy, then ultimately that's doing the right thing for the students of Rockdale County, because we have to have a stable community to have a stable educational system. Thank you, Judy Bond. Vote for Larry Cox. I agree with that. So guys, I want you to do me a favor. I've got my website, votelarrycox.com. I have a new Facebook page, Elect Larry Cox. So you can go to the Facebook page, like it, and follow it. You can go to the votelarrycox.com page, my website, request yard signs, sign up to volunteer, because we've got a lot of people interested in helping in this campaign and making sure that there's change that happens. Because if you elect me to this board, change will happen, because it changes the majority of who controls the board. And those who were in charge become the minority of the board, and they no longer get to pass a bunch of nonsense for the existing Superintendent Terry Oates. And that's another thing. If you elect me, then the votes will exist on that board that Terry Oates will not be the superintendent after the first week of January of 2025. He won't be. Terry Oates will not be the superintendent of Rockdale County Schools after the first week of January 2025 if you elect Larry Cox. Because a Larry Cox elected person on that board changes the pendulum. It changes the power of the board, and it puts that power to a different group of people. It gives it to a group of people who care about you, who care about the students of Rockdale County, and they don't just submit to the will of the superintendent, to where they underreport and manipulate reports to make him look good and to make the system look good when the students are underperforming in Rockdale County. Rockdale County school system is producing students who cannot read and write. That's the hard facts. I've met with educators, and these educators have told me, Larry, these students are graduating and they cannot read and write. And that's a shame. That's a shame that this school system is producing graduates who are not able to read and write. As your next member of your school board, we'll make sure that these kids have an opportunity to be able to get a basic education, that they're able to read, write, and do simple arithmetic. We don't need to do a bunch of fancy stuff. We don't need to do a bunch of nonsense. We can cut the budget and realign the budget so that we put more dollars toward the classroom. We take dollars away from the ivory tower over at Pine Street, the central office. We reallocate those funds to the classroom. We can cut the budget to give senior citizens and taxpayers a break from the millage rate, and then we can reallocate funds that are wastefully going to the ivory tower. Send those funds to the classroom where we can provide a basic education for our students so that they know how to read, write, and do simple mathematics. I'm Larry Cox, and this is my show for tonight. I'm asking for your vote to be your next member of your school board. Thank you. Good night. And until next Sunday, remember, it's your county. It's your vote. You make the decision. Thank you and good night.